Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Wow, what a crazy time to be in the digital asset space. What? Uni, what in the world? What in the world? Well, here's what I got to say. Congrats to those of you that had an opportunity to take advantage of that. And here's what I mean by it. You see, you took a chance and a risk to support a platform. You took a chance and a risk to support a platform that you felt as though was acting in your best interest, right? And so hopefully the vast majority of you did some research on Uniswap, you checked out perhaps their white paper, you checked out their business model, you realized that there's no fees, you realized that they were giving all that money back in terms of fees and to the platform holders, right? So, right, you realized that and you said, you know what? This is something that is looking out for me and my best interest as someone who's participating in the platform, right? Participating in the platform. Imagine if Binance, who, what was it, 80 billion, some crazy tens of billions of dollars at the point, was it tens of billion or billion? $1 billion rather, $1 billion in profit last year. $1 billion. How much of those fees did they give back to you? That's the difference between a platform like Uniswap, who's, from my understanding, from listening to Alex Mashinsky, is a legit platform in that, and it operates in the best interest of the people who participate in the platform, right? And so you did that. You participated in those liquidity pools. Maybe you went on the Uniswap and you purchased some particular asset, whatever that looks like. Right? You did that. And if you did it before September 1st, you were eligible. They decided, think about it, they give you $1,200 worth of uni. Essentially, I mean, it's 400, but the price, whatever the price was, what the price was. I saw someone who actually had $500,000 in uni. $500,000. But again, it was about, for me, the gist is, did the homework on the platform, not these first in, last in type thing. First in wins, last in loses. Not that, right? Not those. And there's a lot of them, the sushis of the world, that first in, last in thing, people get hurt, right? Only the people first in win. Uni, from day one, Celsius. And again, Alex Mashinsky has sung the praises of Celsius because he checked out the model. He checked out the model. The model was about taking care of people who supported the platform. Now, whether it be, it could have been, someone could have just went to Uniswap once and, because they needed to get some tokens, maybe they needed to get some sell, whatever. They got themselves that $400 worth or whatever it was in the beginning for the uni. But from day one, their model has been, okay, transaction fee, whatever these fees, whatever they were, they gave it back to the people who participated on the platform. From the beginning, this is what they were doing. They weren't keeping this stuff for themselves. They were giving it to people who supported the platform, right? Whether it be liquidity pools or purchasing, whatever it looked like. Right, in proportion to how they supported it, right? So if you had a bunch of stuff there that you were in terms of providing liquidity, then you got, you get more of that percentage of those fees coming back, and that's just how it goes, right? And so, yeah, so that was a big win for those guys, and I'm happy for them. Again, I'm happy for them. And so, are you supporting the platforms that are supporting you? Binance's of the world, Binance.com, Binance US. These guys are beginning to do staking and beginning to do this type of lendings because of what Celsius did from the beginning 3 years ago. That's the bottom line, right? That's the bottom line. And so they're giving pennies. Binance right now, 20%. It's not, right? It's not a lot. Binance US probably the same or a little less. It's not 80%, right? Again, all these fees and deposit a fee, withdraw a fee, perhaps, right? Definitely withdrawing the fees. Are you benefiting from that, or is the people at Binance benefiting from that? Right? And that's not to say that Binance is not a good exchange. What I'm saying is, if they could do more for you or us, why aren't they? $1 billion? Why aren't they? Right? That's the thing you got to look at with these exchanges. They could do more. They weren't doing this staking before Binance. They weren't doing this, offering this different kind of lending. Before Celsius, they weren't doing it. And now they're beginning to do it because they realize that they have to, or they're going to continue to lose customers in terms of market share, right? Binance wins when you leave your stuff on that platform, because they take out there and they go make money with it, with institutions and market makers, what have you. Just got to understand that, right? Okay. So, all right, guys, listen, I just wanted to kind of say, again, congrats to those. I know a good friend of the community, a good friend of the channel. He had some of that uni, so he was able to take advantage of that. And congrats. And my understanding is Bitrue is doing some kind of thing with it now in their Power Piggy. So congrats to you, man. Could you imagine $500,000? $500,000. Right? I don't know how long uni's been around, but someone had enough of those uni because they participated, and supported that platform in terms of liquidity, and it worked. So I'm not a big overall fan of DeFi. I think the way it works is the same way it worked in the lending platforms. A great idea and great concept, one or two in the beginning, legit operations, have success. Then the bad guys find out about it. The unscrupulous guys, right? They find out about it and they go and they do some stuff in this space, in DeFi. That's all it is. Just like it happened in the lending platform. A good idea, right? I don't know how sustainable it was, but a good idea. And then the bad guys come in there and they just creating crap for the money grab. And a lot of that's going on in the DeFi phase. It's a great concept when done right. And I'm going to share a platform with you with guys who are going to be doing it right. Who are going to be doing it right. Right. And that is Kava, from people from Brian Kerr and the people from Kava, doing it right. That's the challenge. You got to find the ones that are doing it right. That you find the ones that ultimately are looking out for you, the platform depositor, the person depositing onto the platform, that they're looking out for you. That is the key, not a scheme that ultimately is looking out for the platform creators. That's the difference. And so, all right, guys, listen, this is going to be your XRP daily news. I would say it would be in around 0 to 10 minutes, but I don't think that it's going to be that. So let's share some stuff with you guys. Let me see, where am I at right here? I want this. So this is something that this is Epiphany partners with ECS Fin, who is Ripple enabled, right, to pilot blockchain payments for banks. Epiphany, a leading fintech company that is building a new internet of financial services, today announced that ECS Fin will begin a pilot program to test the integration of Epiphany's Roxy Instant Settlement Network. Now, I've heard of Epiphany before, but ECS Fin, again, is Ripple enabled. On the heels of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency's recent decision to allow banks to offer crypto custody services, the news is another step forward in the integration of traditional finance with decentralized technologies. Epiphany is focused on connecting centralized financial institutions with decentralized networks to provide simple, fast, and flexible global trading, liquidity, and settlement solutions for trading institutions, digital asset exchanges, and banks. So again, ECS Fin is Ripple enabled. I want to go over this here. Shout out to James Rule XRP for sharing this with me yesterday. That this is from Chainalysis, the 2020 Geography of Cryptocurrency report. This is a really, really, really good read. And I'm just going to go over just a little bit of this. Cryptocurrency again, this is Chainalysis. Cryptocurrency adoption continues to grow around the world, but aside from anecdotal evidence, there haven't been many objective measures of how rates of adoption and usage pattern different around the world. That's why we created the Global Crypto Adoption Index. Our goal is to quantify the differences in adoption between countries across the globe. However, we wanted to do more than just report the countries trading the most crypto. Most cryptocurrency volume reflects trading and speculation carried out by professional or increasingly institutional investors dealing in large sums. But what I wanted to cover with you guys is that they covered the U.S. and how the U.S. ranks. But there was one really important note that they had in here is that the rise of institutions getting into this space is apparent. And that's important. That's important. It's important that everyone gets in. Mass adoption is important, but the institutional will bring a bigger gain, a bigger amount of dollars, right? A bigger amount of dollars. Let me see where the U.S. is. I'm just going to read a little bit about North America with you guys, number 98. Because I thought that was pretty interesting. What about the U.S. of A? Where are we at, 94? What is this here? Most common trading pairs at BTC Turk. That's an exchange, right? This is the Middle East by country, top 10 services in the Middle East. But I want to do North America. Did she give you cash? All right, so BTC ETH XRP. Let's go to the United States. 98. And I love the way they did the top countries in terms of trading. Where are we at? North America. Conservative buy and hold strategy dominates as institutional investors move in. Summary of North America's cryptocurrency activity. 15% share of all value sent and received, 15%. Value received, 52 billion. Monthly value received, monthly value sent. So illicit share of value received, 1.1%. Illicit share of value sent, 0.6%. I do like this value and transfers in and out of North America, right? Great job, really, Chainalysis. I really do like that. Absolutely love this. Currencies included for above charge. Okay. Value received by origin and region versus out of region. Cool. That's great. But I want to read you what they got here. North America. Scams. Look at that. My land. Illicit origins is 68% of the illicit origins is these scams, right? Got to be careful. Illicit activity in North America. But let's go with the region overview. North America is the third most active region, third by cryptocurrency volume moved on chain, just behind Northern and Western Europe, and well behind East Asia overall. Overall, North America-based addresses accounted for an estimated 14% of all cryptocurrency activity. This is North America, not just the States. So a 14% is just not a lot, guys. It's just not a lot. So this is U.S. and Canada and whatever else is included in North America, right? Cryptocurrency, 14.8% of all cryptocurrency activity over the time period study. Let me see. Like East Asia, North America has an extremely active professional market. Though its strategies for cryptocurrency investment appear to be much different from its East Asian counterpart, as we'll explore later. North America also hosts a growing class of institutional investors. Like, I was listening to a live stream last night with Sam I Am, right? To the Life Post on YouTube, Green Eggs and Ham on Twitter, definite follow, right? and BC Backer, right? We all love his trading analysis and stuff that he does on the market, especially with XRP. Right, two very, very, very smart guys, and they were kind of discussing a little bit about the DeFi space, and they were also talking about Celsius, but they did not know. They literally did not know. I hopped on there and I tried to offer some insight, but like I must have put 10 different things out there, but they didn't read any of them because the chat was just booming, right? So they couldn't get to it. But my point is that they didn't understand the model behind Celsius, and they certainly didn't understand the model behind DeFi, right? And there's a certain measure of that they should be leery or wary, right? Because again, good concepts that work attract the bad dudes in this space. You have to get that, right? So finding the good ones is almost like a needle in a haystack. It really, really is, right? And so that's the challenge. You know, that's a big, big challenge, but doesn't mean that there aren't good ones. You know, make or die and compound have withstood the test of time, but I'm not sure about the benefits of it for a person entering into it today, if you will, right? The good part is, since they've been around for a while, blockchain's proven, you know, to be safe, whether hack free, whatever, is you don't have to worry about that, right? But in terms of being able to win with MakerDAO and Compound, you have to look at where you fit in with that. So the DeFi model is great if it comes from the good guys. And the challenge is it's hard to find the good guys. But when it comes to this institutional investors, trust me when I tell you, the institutional investors are participating in platforms like DeFi, some DeFi platforms. And they also are doing things on exchanges and arbitrage and all that stuff as well. But they are increasing. Celsius model deals primarily with institutions, right? It deals primarily with institutional investors. The institutions want these assets so they can go and make money the way they're traditionally make money, whether that be arbitraging or whatever that they do. They don't have enough assets, right? And so they're trying to get it. That's what they do. They come to the Celsius platform because they don't have enough assets, and they're willing to pay premium because they know they can make that up. Right, you talk of millions and tens of millions of dollars. They can pay a premium to Celsius, okay? You understand? They can pay a premium to Celsius and go put that out in the market because they know that they can make it up. That's the model, right? So North America also hosts a growing class of institutional investors conducting even larger transfers of crypto. There it is right there. Even larger transfers of cryptocurrency than what we typically refer to as professionals. Institutionals, right? That's institutions. It's a different thing. That they're doing tens of millions of dollars in trade, right? But the challenge is the vast majority of people in the digital asset space, retail investors, they don't know what the institutions are doing. They don't know. It's only platforms that like Celsius, who deal with these institutions, know the kind of money that they're putting into digital assets, right? So the institutional share of the market has grown over the past few years, which can be seen by many to legitimize cryptocurrency as an asset class. This is from Chainalysis, okay, guys? In addition, we'll also explore North America's relationship with other regions, in particular East Asia and North and Western Europe, which represents the region's two largest trading partners. From professional to institutional. In March of 2020, North America surpassed East Asia as the region where professional investors dominate most. Professional share of cryptocurrency volume received by the region. So again, the bigger players, the professionals, and the institutional investors are getting into the space. There's a demand. And the answer really to BC Backer and the Sam I Am is there's a demand for stablecoins. There's a demand for Bitcoin from the professional traders, from the institutions. so that they can go out into their world and make money, because they know how to do it. They know that they can make the money. You know, they take 1% and 2% gains a day because they're trading in the tens of millions. So that's the reason why. There's a demand for the assets. There's a demand for the assets. And the reason why they don't, not that they don't go to the market, they do. They don't have enough. The exchanges don't have enough. They do go into the market and buy these assets. They don't have enough. That's the point. They don't have enough to meet the demand. That's the bottom line. So of course they're going to exchanges and seeing what they can get on the exchanges. They don't have enough. That's why they come into Celsius. If they had enough, they wouldn't come to Celsius. But the bottom line is they don't. Professional traders and institutions realize the massive gains to be made. Right? And one of the best things that I would encourage guys to do is to look at this, the USDC coin and Circle. Look what they're doing with that stable coin. Look at the demand for stable coins. I think no one's paying attention to the fact that there's a big time demand for stable coins. It's the future, especially with the demise of fiat. The stable coin is the future. I was blown away when I heard that the USDC was looking to improve the functionality of their stable coin. And at first I'm looking at it like, it's a stable coin. How are they improving functionality? But that's the fact. They are improving it for a reason. The demand for stable coins, right, coming out of private companies is going to be a huge deal. Trust me when I tell you, when mass adoption comes into this space, and your mother and my mother, your grandmother understands that their $100 can earn interest significantly higher what any of the banks are doing, they're going to take a little bit of it and check it out and see what it looks like. Why? Because they have no choice. They're not getting anything in the traditional finance. And will the banks have to pivot and adjust? Yes. But how much can they? Certainly, they're not going to give 8, 9, 10, 11% on your fiat dollar in a bank. No chance. And if they get a hold of stable coins, they still are not going to be able to match what Celsius is offering. They still can't match it. They can't. What they're going to do is they're going to disguise, if you will, they're going to use the sleight hand, and what they're going to tout is security. What they're going to be selling to you and to your mother and grandmother is security. You know, that's what that's what they're going to try to provide to you, security. Oh, yes, it's safe here. We're trusted. That's what they're going to be. That's what they'll do. They'll try to get over and sell you on trust and safety. And most of your mothers out there and your grandmothers out there are going to buy into that. That's the bottom line. They're going to buy into it. But they're not going to be able to compete with the Celsius of the world. These banks will not be able to do it. They will not be able to. Not that they won't be able to. They will not be capable of doing it. They're just not going to do it. They have to meet the needs of their shareholders. They have to meet the needs of their shareholders, not their depositors. They almost have a fiduciary responsibility to meet the needs of their shareholders. So you as the depositor, your mother and your grandmother as the depositors are not their priority. That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Celsius took an approach and they said that they're going to make the priority to the depositors to meet the needs of the depositors, people who put them out money in the platform. A bank can't survive without you putting your money there. Like, they just can't. Like, how can they survive if they don't have anybody depositing? They can't. Again, you know, they're using a sleight hand if you will, sleight of hand and deception with this trust thing. And it put people out there, friendly tellers and stuff, smiling, you know, safe and all these other different kind of stuff. But all the profits, you know, JP Morgan, was it tens and tens of billions of dollars? That stuff is going to the shareholders, not to the depositors. They're charging the depositors a fee for this and a fee for that and a fee for this and a fee for that. Celsius has no fees. Celsius charges you no fees. That's a big difference. All right, I digress. So anyway, it's important to note that the professional traders and the institutional investors are amping up. They're ramping up into the digital asset space. As of June, over 90% of cryptocurrency transfer volume came from professional size transfers above $10,000 worth of crypto. However, over the last 2 years in North America, we're seeing the impact of a growing class of institutional investors whose transfers account for the growing dominance of professionals in the North American market since December of 2019. Below we show North America's cryptocurrency value transacted by transfer size, with professional size transfers broken out into more granular size buckets. Okay, and there's the chart there. 100,000, look at that. 100,000 to 1 million. 1 million plus is the dark orange here. 1 million plus. And this is the kind of the answer to blockchain backer and to Sam I Am. This is the reason why Celsius is able to pay 11.5% on a stablecoin, over 6% on BTC, and over 6.5% on Ethereum. Because of that, the professional traders, institutional investors are coming in and they're growing into this space. They are coming into the digital asset space and it's growing. They're putting big money into this space. They're professionals and institutions. They can take this crypto and go make the money for themselves. And it's just not enough of it. Remember, in North America, it's only 14.8% of the total digital trading volume in digital assets. In North America. So what is it in the US? It's just not a lot. Which means there's not enough assets to go around. There's not enough assets to go around. You see what I'm saying? Right? So it's just simply supply and demand. Starting around December 2019, the share of North America's total value transacted made up of transfers above $1 million rises from 46% to a high of 57% in 2020. That corresponds with the jump in the overall professional market share of North America activity, rising from 87% in December to a high of 2019 to a high of 92% in May of 2020. In other words, the increasing dominance of North America's professional market, which Sam I Am and Blockchain Backer is what Celsius deals with to get yield. Another thing they do is they do participate in, I think, up to 5%, maybe up to 7% in DeFi, and whether it be Unify or MakerDAO, whatever it is, whether it be protocol or compound. They have a small percentage of it that they put in that space as well to get yield to pay back to us, the people who deposit our assets, right? But the vast majority of what they do is with the professional institutional traders, investors. Again, it's just supply and demand. The institutions and the professionals, they can't get a hold of enough assets. So what else is there? So in other words, the increasing dominance of North America's professional market since December 2019 appears to be almost entirely driven. Excuse me. Think about that. That's crazy. In other words, the increasing dominance of North America's professional market since December of 2019 appears to be almost entirely driven by transfers of 1 million or more of cryptocurrency. That's not you and I. Many of which we believe are coming from institutional investors. Institutional investors. Institutional investors' interest in cryptocurrency appears to be growing based on recent reports. In Fidelity Investments' June 2020 survey of nearly 800 institutional investors across the US and Europe, 36% said that they're currently invested in digital assets, while 60% said that they believe digital assets has a place in their portfolio. Fidelity itself is helping to meet that demand with its Fidelity Digital Assets platform, which offers cryptocurrency, which offers crypto custody for institutional investors. So think about that. Fidelity itself is looking to meet the demand. That's the answer to you guys, right? I have mad respect for both Blockchain Backer and Sam I Am, right? Mad respect for both of them. But they just don't understand what's going on. They were trying to figure out how DeFi works. They were trying to figure out how Celsius works, right? And so the bottom line is Celsius and DeFi are two different things. Two different. DeFi has a great concept and model behind it. The challenge is with anything that works, especially in the digital asset space, with anything that works, the bad guys are going to come into it because they know that there's money to be made. And the challenge for you and I as retail investors is how do we determine which ones are the good ones and which are the bad ones? That's the challenge. That is the challenge. Celsius took a different approach. You got to understand, Alex Mashinsky is a serial entrepreneur. You're talking about this guy has had 8 startups, 8 different startups. He brought, I don't know, seven IPOs, 2 to IPO, 2 unicorns. This is the dude who created the voice over internet protocol, who went to battle with AT&T and like, why are you guys charging? I put something, why can't we just give this to the masses? And won that fight, won the fight. This is the guy who created voice over internet protocol. I encourage each and every one, if you don't understand what Celsius is, I encourage you to watch as many AMAs on the Celsius Network channel. And in addition to that, just put in YouTube AMAs with Alex Mashinsky and watch him from other channels that interview him. He's answering different questions, different platforms on stage. Check out Kitco News, check out MSNBC, all these places where he has been invited, CNBC, CNN, where he has been invited to speak on the markets. This is Alex Mashinsky. This is not some dude behind a computer. Don't confuse Alex Mashinsky and Celsius with DeFi platforms. Could totally 2 different separate things, guys. And if you guys ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll help answer those for you. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to talk with Blockchain Backer or Sam I Am, right? Sam. But for me, it's like, guys, good guys like yourself, good guys and smart guys like yourself need to know about Celsius. Like, need to know, right? And here's an interesting thing. I'm gonna end that part of this here, but I saw a video here from none other than DM Logic. Let me make sure I have that. Was it? Let me see. I was like, what? DM? Yep, here it is. Here, guys, listen to this. Check this out. This is what he says here in his tweet. Are you using digital assets to your best advantage? At Celsius Network, he got a referral. And at BitTrue, he has a referral. So check this out.
Greetings, good citizens of Cryptopia. It was time for me to make this video because my thinking on a couple of things has changed. One of the things is I used to recommend using the Ledger Nanos. I don't not recommend that now, and nobody's asking me, but I'm just saying I don't talk about that now, even though I could make money on them, because it turns out they're not as secure as I originally thought they were. The other good thing that has happened in the last, year and a half in particular, is that exchanges, as well as a particular company that I'm very fond of called Celsius Network, has gotten more and more mature. I actually keep crypto now in two places to put it to work for me. Celsius Network, I have been doing that for a year and a half, and I really encourage you to download the Celsius Network app. Click the link in my description if you would, and if you put some money in there, we will both.
Right, DM Logic, a fan, a big time, right? Big, not a fan, but long time community member, right? Coming around. He's been using Celsius for a year and a half, yet this is probably his first time that he's really spoken about it, right? Because now he feels confident in having tested it and tried it, right? Deposit on there, take off of it. They say you can't, they're saying there's no fees. Let me check this thing out, just as like I did, right? Deposited, took off. I checked customer service on some, kind of almost issues, but not really issues. To kind of check the response time, to check the how are they communicating? Are they coming across dismissive, or are they coming across friendly? Right, all of these different things. Right. Okay, I see this yield on this dash, but what does it really look like in my wallet? Right. All these different things I tested. Right. And another thing to Sam I Am and Blockchain Backer is they give you a rate per year, but they pay you out weekly. They pay it out weekly. Why do they pay it out weekly? Because there are times when they have to adjust up or down based upon how much yield they are getting. Ethereum used to be like 4 point something percent when I was on the platform that you were getting for Ethereum. It's up to 6 point something percent now. Why? Because Celsius is getting more yield from the market, from investors, institutional investors, and they're giving it back to the platform. Stablecoins used to be 8 point something percent when I was on the platform, when I first started with the platform. Now it's up to 11%. Again, why? Just like that article from Chainalysis points out, institutional demand is growing. Institutional investors coming into the space is growing. This is who Celsius deals with, guys. That's who Celsius deals with. All right, guys, listen, I am going to, guys, do me a favor, get this out to Sam I Am, get this out to Blockchain Backer, so that they can hear this, so they can kind of get a better understanding. Because again, for me, I feel terrible in that not enough good guys know about Celsius, right? Because when you come across a good platform, it's important for us to get the word out there, because there are so many things out there that are not good for you and I as retail investors. So when we come across a good one, we got to get the word out about it so people can take advantage of it. And you guys know that I'm an ambassador for Celsius, and I encourage people to learn about it. See if that message resonates with you. See if their sound business model is sound for you. Like I did. That's what I discovered. I researched and found out that their business model is hugely sound, right? 99% of what they do in terms of lending out their crypto is collateralized. You have to give collateral. The other platforms out there like Nexo and BlockFi and Crypto.com, not so much. Not so much. They don't have those stringent requirements like Celsius does. Doesn't matter how much you're trying to deposit with Celsius. You got to provide some crypto. You got to have to provide some collateral if you want a loan, right? You're not going to come to us on your reputation and say, look, you don't understand who I am. I'm trying to get $100 million loan. Surely I can do that without any collateral, right? I believe 99% of what they do in loans is all collateral, right? That's massive. The other platforms like Nexo don't do that. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do in BlockFi. I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. I apologize for going a little long. I was kind of combining the XRP Ripple daily news and along with hopefully to educate Blockchain Backer and Sam on Celsius, right? Because again, I think it's important for us to get the word out about the good platforms, because we know how challenging it is in the digital asset space to come across the great ones. And of course, there's a link in the description and all of my videos for the Celsius platform as well. I'm going to end this video like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same platform that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.